What if I told you that thousands of Jamaicans leave behind the beauty and culture of their island, hoping to find a better life abroad, only to feel more stuck and uncertain than ever before? It's a reality that too many people face, a story of ambition met with unexpected challenges. From the sandy shores of Montego Bay to the bustling streets of Kingston, Jamaicans have been packing their bags and setting out for the United States, Canada and the United Kingdom for decades. The dream? A brighter future with hopes of prosperity. The reality? Far more complicated than anyone could have predicted. Stick with me, because what you're about to hear might change the way you think about migration forever. The migration of Jamaicans is a tale as old as time, one driven by hope, opportunity and, in many cases, survival. Did you know that Jamaican migration dates back to the early 20th century, when thousands left to work on the Panama Canal? Then, during World War II, Britain invited workers from Jamaica and other Caribbean islands to help rebuild after the devastation. This gave rise to the Windrush generation, a wave of hopeful Jamaicans eager to contribute to the UK's recovery. By the mid-20th century, the United States became the next major destination as Jamaicans pursued higher education and better-paying jobs. Over time, Canada also opened its doors with immigration policies that attracted skilled workers from the island. These journeys were filled with promise, but for many, that promise came with unforeseen struggles. Fast forward to today, and Jamaican communities have blossomed in cities like New York, South London, Toronto and Florida. If you've ever walked through neighbourhoods like Flatbush in Brooklyn or Brixton in South London, you've likely seen the unmistakable signs of Jamaican pride. The vibrant culture is alive and well, reggae music blasting from storefronts, the aroma of jerk chicken wafting through the streets and flags proudly displayed in shop windows. These neighbourhoods are a home away from home for many Jamaicans, places where their culture thrives and where they've built lives for themselves and their families. But what's often hidden behind the lively music and bright colours is a much darker side of the immigrant experience. While some Jamaicans have found success abroad, many face enormous challenges. They leave Jamaica with dreams of prosperity, but often arrive in their new countries without a clear plan. This lack of preparation can make it incredibly difficult to navigate life in a foreign land. And for those who are undocumented, the situation is even more dire. These individuals are often forced into low-paying jobs with no benefits and no real job security. Imagine leaving behind a respectable job in Jamaica, maybe as a teacher, nurse, or office worker, only to find yourself working as a janitor or in a back-breaking labour job. It's a harsh reality that thousands face every day. If you've ever wondered why these stories don't get more attention, it's because many people are too ashamed to speak about them. But it's time we shine a light on these struggles, and if you're finding value in this discussion so far, take a moment to like this video, drop a comment and subscribe. For many Jamaicans abroad, the dream of a better life quickly turns into a fight for survival. The cost of living in cities like New York and London is sky high, and making ends meet is a daily struggle. Add to that the constant pressure of sending money back home to support family members, and you begin to see just how heavy the burden is. Remittances from the Jamaican diaspora are a lifeline for many families on the island, covering school fees, medical bills and basic necessities. In fact, remittances to Jamaica totaled over $3 billion annually by 2025, accounting for nearly 20% of the country's GDP. But while this money keeps families afloat, it doesn't always secure the future. Most of the money sent home goes toward immediate needs, not long-term investments. Few are thinking about buying land or starting a business in Jamaica, which means many Jamaicans abroad find themselves with little to show for their sacrifices. Years pass and they begin to feel stuck, unable to move forward and too ashamed to go back. The fear of returning home empty-handed looms large for many. After all, they left Jamaica full of hope, promising their families they would make a better life for themselves. Often see life abroad as glamorous, filled with opportunity and wealth. The reality couldn't be further from the truth for many, but breaking that illusion feels impossible. For Jamaicans abroad, the pressure to succeed isn't just internal, it's external too, and it's relentless. This is just the beginning of the story. Keep watching, because what we've discussed so far is only scratching the surface. In just a moment, we'll dive deeper into how these struggles are tearing at the very fabric of the Jamaican immigrant experience. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Despite these challenges, Jamaican communities abroad remain resilient. They come together to support one another, sharing resources, advice, and even meals to get through tough times. In cities like Toronto and Miami, organizations have been formed to help Jamaicans navigate the immigration system, find housing, and secure better jobs. This sense of community is a testament to the strength and spirit of Jamaicans everywhere. And it's this strength that keeps many going, even when the odds seem stacked against them. But let's not forget, for every success story, there are countless others that highlight the harsh realities of migration. As we continue exploring these issues, it's important to ask ourselves, how can we better support immigrant communities like these? One thing is clear, the Jamaican immigrant experience is as complex as it is inspiring. It's a story of hope, hardship, and incredible resilience. But this is only the beginning. There's so much more to uncover. And in the next part of this video, we'll explore the deeper emotional and systemic challenges that make many Jamaicans feel trapped abroad. From the rising cost of living to fears about safety back home, the next chapter of this story is one you won't want to miss. So stay tuned and let's keep this conversation going. Don't forget to leave a comment below sharing your thoughts and experiences. Whether you're a member of the Jamaican diaspora or just someone interested in the immigrant experience, we'd love to hear your perspective. What if going back home to Jamaica, the place where your heart truly belongs, felt more terrifying than staying in a country where you barely scrape by? For many Jamaicans living abroad, this is the harsh reality. The thought of returning home isn't always the happy ending it should be. Instead, it's fraught with fears of high costs, safety concerns, and even judgment from those they left behind. And yet the pull of home is undeniable. What keeps so many trapped abroad, and why is the decision to return so complicated? Stick around, because this is a story of struggle, resilience, and the unbreakable ties to a homeland. Jamaica is known for its beauty, its music, and its culture, but there's no denying that life on the island comes with challenges. Did you know that by 2025, Jamaica ranks among the most expensive countries in the Caribbean to live in? The cost of housing, utilities, and even food has soared, putting tremendous strain on residents. For Jamaicans abroad who dream of going back, these realities can feel overwhelming. Why leave a place where you've worked so hard to survive, only to face even steeper financial obstacles at home? It's a question that many wrestle with, and for some, it's enough to make them stay in countries where they're barely getting by. Then there's the issue of safety. Jamaica's crime rate has been a growing concern, especially for expats and returning residents. In recent years, reports of robberies and violence targeting those who return with savings or investments have made headlines. Imagine working hard overseas for decades, finally saving enough to build a home or start a business in Jamaica, only to worry that your success could make you a target. This fear is real, and it's keeping many Jamaicans from following through on their dreams of returning. But that's just scratching the surface. Keep watching, because the emotional toll of feeling trapped is even more profound than you might think. The challenges faced by Jamaicans aren't unique to their community. Immigrants from all over the world share similar struggles. Take Haitians, Filipinos, and Mexicans, for example. They too work tirelessly abroad, sending money back home and making sacrifices for their families. Many face the same fears about deportation, the same challenges with low-paying jobs, and the same pressure to succeed. What unites all these groups is their resilience, their ability to persevere despite the odds. But what sets the Jamaican story apart is the deep cultural connection to home, a connection that makes the decision to stay or return even more complex. The experience of being an immigrant is one of constant balancing, juggling responsibilities abroad while staying connected to the family and culture left behind. And for Jamaicans in the United States, that balance has become even harder with the return of Donald Trump as president in 2025.